Good morning, Wildings. It's time for another intuitive tarot card reading. Today I'm opening up the channel for twin flame messages. So especially if you're in a twin flame separation and you want to know what's going on with your twin, today's the day where we open up that channel and find out what Spirit has to say about it. So if that sounds good, stick around for the video. Hey there, Wildings. Welcome to your intuitive tarot card reading for the day. Today we're channeling messages for twin flames, especially those in separation. If you're not in separation or you're not a twin flame, you're welcome to stay. The twin flame journey has a lot of messages and learning that are collectively applicable and really actually super helpful. So kind of regardless of your situation, you're so welcome to stay and get a channeled messages reading today, particularly in regards to the twin flame connection though. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and choose a pile wherever your intuition is sending you. I will see you there. Hey there, pile one. Welcome to your tarot reading for twin flame messages for today. Before we get into the reading using this traditional tarot, I'm first just gonna clarify the general themes of this reading using this astrology deck. And just the same reminder as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is a general reading, so there will be some messages here that are for specific people or in regards to specific situations. There also may be better interpretations for your situation. So just making sure that you're exercising your own intuition and discernment around what messages are for you, which ones aren't, which ones have a better interpretation for your situation, so that you're getting the most out of this reading. We're going to go ahead and find out from Spirit, what is pile one's twin flame channeled messages for today. Ooh, I like this. Black Moon Lilith. What else do we have for pile one's channeled messages? Okay, so pile one, you have two kind of very different cards, I would say. The Black Moon Lilith is like the archetype of woman before Eve. So it said that Lilith was in the Garden of Eden with Adam before God created Eve. And she's kind of like more of that high priestess energy, whereas Eve's more of that kind of like divine feminine in kind of like the more youthful and innocent sense that we kind of think of today. Whereas Lilith is kind of like the witch archetype, essentially. Like it's the very, very powerful, can't be fucked with, knows their shit kind of divine feminine. So like very, very much high priestess energy. She's thought to be very mysterious and like very, very powerful. And then we also have the first house, which has to do a lot with the body and who we are in the world, and also like obviously to do with our rising sign. So those are going to be the general themes or anchors that we're going to come back to throughout our reading. But we're just now going to use this traditional tarot to get the rest of our reading, pile one. So what do we have for pile one's twin flame messages? What do we have for pile one's twin flame messages? Can you clarify the Hierophant, please? Can we clarify this Hierophant card? Can we clarify the Emperor? Can we also clarify the King of Swords and Ace of Swords? And the Hermit card, please. Okay, so I'm getting quite a lot of change in this connection with both the Judgment and Six of Swords cards indicating like transition and movement. This Judgment card appearing on top of the Two of Cups. This Two of Cups is like universally known as like a twin flame connection kind of energy, but at the very least it's like indicates like partnership and attraction. So there's definitely been like a huge transition in this connection. In, I would say, this period, I'm getting that it's potentially was initiated by the Lionsgate portal, like potentially some of the manifesting that the two of you were doing around that time. If you're watching this like fairly recently afterwards, then I'm getting that that was a major shift for you. If you are watching this reading later, just go back to find whatever your most recent like portal was in terms of like intense energy. It might just be a full moon depending on your connection. But yeah, I'm getting that whatever the last kind of like astrological event was, it brought with it a huge change for your connection. I'm definitely seeing kind of like this Hierophant card can indicate like kind of like a like tradition and belief, but what I'm kind of getting for this in light of like all of these other cards that came up, that it's about kind of like a clean slate. Like there's a new slate in this connection that's just begun, based on kind of like all this transformative energy. I would guess, based on the themes that came out during this reading, but then also like some of the cards that are coming out here, I would guess that like the people viewing this reading could be either divine masculine or divine feminine. Like there's no real indication one way or the other, so I'm just going to read it kind of fairly neutrally. But it seems like in this connection, like there's a pull to have the isolation period over with this Hermit coming up upside down. The Hermit does indicate like kind of periods of separation and isolation when it's right way up, but in reverse, I'm gathering that it's kind of like this season of your separation is coming to a close, and you guys are about to kind of experience like a new era of like sunshine, like abundance, connection, like warmth, affection, like kind of all of those things. Like that's what I'm getting is incoming, probably in a reasonably close time frame. I'm also getting some things from the masculine. Like I'm seeing kind of this Hierophant energy definitely corresponding with this like Lilith, and I would say more divine feminine energy. Like I'm definitely getting that the divine feminine's kind of like definitely at this stage right now of like new way of operating in the world. But this divine masculine with the Emperor coming out upside down, there is just like a slight block there for the divine masculine, whether that's you or your partner who you're receiving channeled messages from. I would say for the majority of you, you're probably divine feminine here, just because there seems to be a few more messages about the divine masculine, which is you know, based on the intention of the reading. That's what I'm gathering. But like if you're either, it doesn't really matter. I am getting for the divine masculine that they've always been very empowered when it comes to their like intellect, and maybe their like their ability to be in the world in a very kind of like air energy way. So swords is the air suit, so it is very masculine. It usually has to do with like our intellect, our cognition, kind of sometimes to do with like our stories and stuff like that. But it seems like this person has real king energy when it comes to that air element. But kind of what I'm seeing a lack of at the moment, it is like the fire energy for the masculine. So this Ace of Wands is like inspiration and creativity. So I'm definitely seeing a block for the masculine there. Like I think he, she, or they are potentially very, very, very in their mind, maybe even a little bit overthinking this, and maybe not overly motivated to act right now or overly inspired to act. I'm getting that their fire element inside them is a little bit dull right now. And that's kind of confirmed with this Knight of Wands energy in reverse. Like the Knight, I would say, is like a youthful masculine, like it's very passionate and energetic. But yeah, there seems to be like this kind of like block theme when it comes to the masculine right now, with a lot of these more fire elements coming out in reverse. So let's see if there's a little bit more about that in terms of the masculine feeling a little bit blocked. We have a little bit more about this blocked energy, please, Spirit. We have a little bit more about this blocked energy in the masculine, please. We have some channeled messages around this blocked masculine energy. Okay, so I think when it comes to their bravery, this divine masculine person is having a bit of a tower moment at the moment. So they're kind of like, they're definitely coming towards a transition. Like they're moving towards this transition in terms of this partnership. But at the moment, I think potentially it's causing them like a little bit of stress, and it's kind of like they're heavily relying on their like intellect right now. Like I think probably on the masculine end, they're like kind of mentally reaffirming to themselves that this is their connection, this is what they want, this is their destiny, this is like, you know, they're kind of like playing all of that, like those affirmations to themselves on a loop. But for some reason, they're kind of blocked when it comes to their like fire. I'm getting like their solar plexus might be a little bit blocked, like their willpower. I'm getting that maybe they're trying to protect their ego a little bit as well. Like I'm getting that maybe the divine masculine really sees their divine feminine as this real black moon Lilith kind of person. And they're actually intimidated as hell. I'm getting like heavy intimidated vibes in terms of them stepping into their fullness as the Emperor around this fire energy, because they don't think that they're going to be able to keep up. Like I think probably if they had it their way, they'd have more of an Eve divine feminine and not so much of a Lilith divine feminine is what I'm getting. But this person does know that you being this more black moon Lilith divine feminine is definitely challenging them to be their best self. Because if you weren't, they could probably just like sail through life with this swords energy, and they never would have to kind of like get into the nitty gritties of like their solar plexus and their ego and like stepping into their fullness in terms of this wand energy and like really being able to go after what they want, be passionate, exuberant, vivacious, like all that sort of stuff. Like they, if you weren't this energy, they definitely could kind of like settle a lot in life and just kind of like skate through. And divine feminines, that seems to be some of their block to do with their ego. It seems like definitely you challenge them to be a much more full and balanced masculine energy. And you are challenging them a lot in this connection. And their ego definitely wants to walk away from that at times. Like their ego is definitely like, this is too much, like I can't do this. But you know what, like this person, like mentally they're so strong that they end up just seeing that as like opportunity to grow. So yeah, it seems like the masculine at the moment is having a bit of like a bit of a moment with this like fire energy. But most likely like all of their kind of like swords energy will really get them through that. Because like they're very mentally strong. Like their air element is just so strong that they're really not gonna let they're not gonna let being challenged in terms of their like kind of like fire like beat them. Like they're just like too powerful in this air energy to let that happen. But right now they're definitely having a bit of a moment around it, and I think they want you to know that. They want you to know that they absolutely will overcome it, but they're a little bit in their ego at the moment and just like really having to transform kind of that fiery part of themselves to kind of like step into their fullness as the emperor. And I think they potentially kind of do this on and off. And maybe you feel like you're in your Lilith energy on and off. Like maybe sometimes you fall into that more Empress divine feminine energy. But yeah, I think right now they're having a bit of a moment around it. So if you're energetically connecting to them and their willpower seems like a little bit low right now, that's why. They want you to know that like it's definitely causing them some stress, like this kind of like willpower situation. But it's definitely necessary. So 9s in numerology kind of signify ends and like some sort of like coming to fulfillment of something. And often 9s can also bring some undoing in order to close a certain cycle before it can open a new one. So I think this person is like in a little bit of stress to do with this sort of stuff now, but like they're definitely like on the edge of like the next level of fullness in it at the same time. And so they want you to know that if you connect to them and they feel a little bit like not fiery and not courageous, it's just like they're just like closing a cycle to do with that. And they're finding their strength in that process. It's definitely temporary, it's not forever. But that's essentially what's going on for them now. That's what they're dealing with. They're dealing with kind of just like kind of really challenging their ego, their stories, their beliefs, and just like any of their self-doubts to find strength that they potentially haven't quite found yet, but that they're like this close. Like, yeah, they're super close to kind of starting a next transition that was definitely initiated in whatever the last astrological event was. Like it definitely like spurred this like huge change. Like I'm getting like a huge purge of like old stuff and kind of like closing it so that a new cycle can begin. But let's go ahead and get some oracles to get a little bit more clarity of these channeled messages from your person outside of them kind of like doing this little bit of ego work right now. Like I'm definitely, as this reading progressed, especially with these cards that came out, I'm definitely getting that probably most of you are divine feminine. Yeah, so we've got synchronicity here with this abundance card and also this sun card, which can indicate abundance. The text says, prepare yourself for incoming abundance, release any mental blocks you might have. In fairyland and in human land, there is enough abundance for everyone. So I'm definitely getting that this new season that's been initiated between the two of you is definitely going to bring you both a lot of abundance and happiness, especially. And yeah, this person, I think once they balance out this kind of like wands energy, like they won't have to rely on their like swords energy so much, like their mental energy so much, which may actually sometimes come with it a little bit of mental block. As this card kind of says, like this wands is kind of like the inspired, creative, like fiery part of the divine masculine, and it seems like not being able to rely on that potentially can like put the swords energy, the mental energy in overdrive and sometimes create more blocks that don't actually need to be there, especially with this 9 of swords coming out, which can indicate some like extra stresses and anxiety. Yeah, I think definitely there's a new phase coming in that'll kind of like override all of that stuff. But your person's just like kind of doing a little bit of work to kind of like invite that that new level in. I would say that during the like portal or whatever it was that like kind of activated you as the divine feminine, like it kind of had a bit of a latency with the divine masculine in terms of like that it kind of opened them to the next level, but like they had this kind of like block that they needed to clear, and that's really what they're doing at the moment. They're clearing that block so that they can invite in a lot more abundance in their own life and in this connection with you, because they'll be a lot less blocked. Let's see if we have any more oracles. Okay, so we have a few things here. So we have the new moon of beginnings. We have a first quarter of assessing. We have a waxing gibbon action, and then a beaver moon of creation. I think like you guys are potentially very close to creating a new beginning. I think it's really important that this divine masculine kind of gets this like kind of like last little ego, solar plexus, kind of willpower, lack of courage situation under control. Like it's important that they kind of like go through that transformation. And at the moment they're definitely assessing and planning some action, but I don't think they'll be done assessing and feel ready for action until this kind of like one's business is all sorted. But yeah, they've definitely got their sights on creating a new beginning with you for sure. There's just like a little bit in the way. I would say you guys have probably been in separation for a long time because your person feels very empowered in their work. You feel very empowered in your work. So I'm very doubtful that this is a new separation. Like I'd say you guys have been separated for a long time. You've done a lot of shadow work. And you're kind of like getting down to the niggly bits before you guys can reunite. Like that's kind of like the general energy that I'm getting here. So we have work through your fears and communication is key. Yeah, I think this work through your fears has to do with what I was saying earlier about your person potentially being a little bit intimidated by you, in that like you're very much bringing this Lilith energy onto the table, and that can be very, very intimidating. Like I think potentially your person maybe has felt disempowered when it comes to divine feminine in their life, and they just like kind of need that transformation around the divine feminine. Like I'm sensing potentially some mummy issues here that they needed to work through and get over, to really embrace you in this Lilith energy and not be afraid of you, to not want to water you down in order to like feel safe. And I think that's why this body card came up. Like obviously the solar plexus and kind of like ego, all is very much first house of the body kind of energy. But I think like this person, like your person was potentially storing like a lot of fear in the body and they're kind of like releasing it. I'm seeing that they are potentially like doing lots of inspired movement, like running, boxing, going to the gym or like all that sort of stuff. And that's really kind of like letting loose a lot of that ego stuff from their body. Like it's no longer locked into their body so much. They're kind of like releasing a lot of stuff through like their physical body. Like I don't think your divine masculine person necessarily releases things the same way that you do. Like I see that maybe in this Lilith energy, like maybe you do things more spiritually. Your person definitely does things more physically. And it's definitely working for them, sorry. Their fears are definitely moving through them a lot better now. Like they're a much better, like clearer channel for like healing. Like they're not done by any means, but like they're really like kind of, they've got like a good system going for like how they deal with a lot of their stuff. And I think when you guys do reunite, it will be really important that you guys really chat through a lot of this stuff. like I'm not getting lots of messages from the feminine, so I assume that most of you here are this feminine energy. Like I think it'll be really important that you both communicate a lot about all the healing that you've done in this time, and like kind of expectations of the relationship the next time around, like expectations in more form of like anything that's hidden, like bringing it to the surface, not being like hard and fast in your expectations, but just like naming them so that you can communicate around them, and like kind of unpack what's realistic, what's not. Because like, for example, I'm sensing that your person potentially wouldn't want you to be as, like, if they were going to place an expectation on the relationship, it would be for like less Lilith energy, just because it intimidates them. But I think it's important for them to name that with you, and then like kind of just take the power out of it, because I think sometimes by not naming things, like sometimes it can like amp up our fears. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this person. So I think when you guys do have that new beginning, like you guys will have a lot to communicate and potentially still some stuff to like sort out between the two of you. Can we please have some love oracles for pile one? We have love oracles for pile one. I'm definitely getting that this card came up as a channeled message for you, pile one, so that you know that you can't that you're not going to let your person just kind of like skate by without naming lots of stuff with you when you do reunite. Wow. Okay, so this is exciting. I've got an engagement ring and talking. So your person definitely wants to talk to you more, and the messages that you've been waiting to hear from them are definitely impending. They may text, call, or email you. But yeah, communication's definitely coming, and they're like working on like in the background, like they definitely have lots of intention around this Two of Cups energy, like bringing you guys together in union, and they definitely want to have a completed union, an engagement, a partnership with you. Like that's definitely what they're looking forward to in the very near future. Like I think them having their eye on that, that's what's really at the moment empowering them to do their work. Like obviously they're doing their work for them, but also like they're doing it for you at the same time. Like they're doing it for both of you. But let's see if we can get any affirmations for you, pile one, to help you through this time. We get affirmations for pile one. We get affirmations for pile one. Okay, so we have two. We have, I cleanse my entire being. I'm free from negative energy, and I am filled with creative energy, and I am ready to manifest. I think this creative energy has a lot to do with the new beginning that you guys are like kind of ready to call in. I think it's important that you guys both like cleanse all of the kind of like old stuff and all the negative energy that might still be lingering for both of you around, you know, like your work. And like maybe the first round in this connection, like cleanse all that and then really focus on what you want to create, what you want to manifest together. Like obviously your person wants to like connect and potentially like go down the road of getting engaged and married and like all that sort of stuff. Yeah, but for both of you right now, definitely cleanse whatever like last things you're holding on to, and really get into the flow of creative energy and start like really relying on manifestation to bring that new beginning to life for both of you, because it seems like you guys are definitely in it like on a new level with it all, and you're definitely ready for like kind of like ready for the next thing. I'm getting that you guys have been in separation for a long time. You've both done a lot of work, and you're kind of like in that last little shed, like shedding the snake skin to be able to start brand new. Like that's definitely heavily the energy I'm getting. But I think I'm going to leave this reading here, pile one. Thank you so much for making it all the way through if you did. I really appreciate it, and I hope you got everything out of this reading that you needed. whether it brought like comfort or relief or excitement or whatever it was that you needed. But if this reading resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again for more intuitive tarot readings on this channel very, very soon. Hey there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading for channeled messages from your twin flame. This is going to be mostly intended for people that are in separation, but feel free to hang around whether you're separated or not. There's always messages regarding the twin flame journey that are super helpful no matter what kind of connection you're in or what stage of connection you're in. We're just going to clarify the general themes of these channeled messages using this astrology deck. Spirit, what are the general themes of Pile 2's channeled messages twin flame reading, please? What are the general themes of Pile 2's twin flame reading? Okay, so we've got the Chiron placement, which is like heavy healing energy. It's the place with our like biggest wound, our biggest opportunity for healing, and then once healed, our biggest opportunity to heal others. Like, it's a very intense placement. Do we have any other themes of this reading for Pile 2, please? And then we also have the moon. It's also like considered very feminine, has to do with the soul, has to do with who we are emotionally. And it's also like connected to like Cancer energy. So it's very watery, very emotional, also very feminine, intuitive. Yeah, so this will be very interesting. This will be an interesting reading. We're just going to do the next part of the reading using this traditional tarot to get messages from your twin flame. Can we get messages regarding the Pile 2 twin flame connection, please? Channeled messages. Channeled messages regarding the twin flame connection, please. Channeled messages. Thank you. Can we get channeled messages regarding the twin flame connection for Pile 2, please? Got a lot of reversals thus far. That's very interesting. Can we clarify the Ace of Cups, please? Can we clarify the Three of Swords, please? Okay, we've had the Two of Cups appear in the same position in both readings, which is like heavy twin flame energy. So that's just very, very interesting. Okay, right away with this spread, I'm thinking that it's like potentially a reunion is quite near kind of spread. Like, I would assume that you guys have been in separation for some time. You've done a lot of healing. You've done a lot of connecting to both yourself on a soul level and to each other on a soul level. Like, it seems like there's just been like a lot done in terms of like healing and soul work and shadow work and like so much stuff here, because the Ace of Cups kind of like indicates like a new phase of the relationship, where there's like heaps more space for intimacy and compassion for each other, and a letting go of needing to be in control all the time, and needing to be the person in power. Like, I'm getting that in the past that potentially this relationship was like definitely out of balance because the two of you were kind of like vying for this power all the time, like either feeling like the other person had it or the other person was taking it away from you, or like all that sort of stuff. And definitely I'm getting that it was a projection of your own your own disempowerment that you were projecting onto each other. And it created like just like a heavily like kind of dramatic shifting backwards and forwards kind of connection. Like there wasn't really any there wasn't really a lot of space for like intimacy and compassion the first time around. Like there was a lot of like vying for power, but like you guys have both done so much connecting to the soul and healing that you're in a like totally different place. This Three of Swords in reverse indicates like an overcoming of separation. So I think like a lot of this power struggle led you to be in separation, but this like kind of new age of like intimacy and compassion is like overcoming that need for separation and creating this need to come back together in union. So the Two of Cups is definitely like the strongest union, partnership, attraction, twin flame or soulmate energy in the minor arcana. So yeah, these two coming out together definitely tells me that there's either right now you guys are overcoming separation and coming back together, or very soon you'll be overcoming separation and coming back together. It seems like you have both done a lot of work on your like kind of like shadow side, your emotional issues, and like overcome a lot of your past karma. I think like both of you still feel like kind of what's missing though is coming back together to reunite as a team. So the Three of Pentacles is a very collaborative, practical energy, and it seems like kind of what both of you seem to be wanting right now is to reunite, to kind of like confirm that all that karma is cleared, and that you're really ready for this old cycle to be like kind of done, and inviting in a new cycle where the dominant energy in your connection is like intimacy and compassion rather than like vying for power is what I'm getting. This connection feels very balanced right now. And I would say probably the only thing troubling the two of you is like, I think maybe you're both like, you've both done so much work, but maybe there's some like, I think maybe the two of you won't really fully be grateful or acknowledge how much work you've done until you come back into union with each other. Like I kind of feel like yes, you're like so happy for your wins each as individuals, but I think it won't be until you're like back together that you can kind of like experience that feeling in its fullness, because it kind of like, I'm getting that until you guys reconnect and like have this new phase of intimacy and compassion rather than power, like I don't think either of you will be like kind of trusting that you're in a new phase, first of all, but also like I think the action will kind of solidify that new phase, like until it's kind of like embodied in your daily practice with each other. Like the new way of relating kind of, it's kind of like, it's always potential until it's like really real. And I get that's what each of you are like wanting right now. Like you're definitely wanting to come back together and like to see if all this work that you've done in separation can kind of like come to fruition in this connection. Like I think you both want to see that happen. Like that's what I'm definitely getting similar energy from both of you. So we have the Devil card in reverse. I think maybe like the two of you potentially were like overcoming some like shadow tendencies in this relationship, and what I'm getting with all these cards in reverse is like you want to see if that's still there when you're together, and you want to see this new phase like come into fruition, both of you. Like potentially if you're more of the divine masculine here, which I'm getting, maybe there's a slight lenience towards divine masculine. I think your divine feminine is much more heavily wanting to see this through right now than you. I'm getting that there's probably a mix here of divine masculine, divine feminine, but I'm definitely getting that the divine feminine is much more eager to reunite, like ASAP. Yeah, I think both of you are looking to reunite. What was once lost is about to be found, thanks to the lost and found fairy. Sometimes she can help to find things even that we never even realized were lost. Yeah, I'm getting that you guys are definitely like nearing a reuniting, and that both of you really want this, and that it's like the connection's very equal. I would say the divine feminine for some of these connections like wants this reuniting like maybe a little bit more, or maybe has been ready for a little bit longer. You're both obviously super attracted to each other. And I think like you're both in a phase where you're just like heavily attracting each other back into your orbit. Like I'm getting that kind of like all the healing and soul connecting that you've both been doing, like all it's doing is creating more of a magnet for your twin and for you. Like you're both just like you're both feeling more and more attracted to each other, and genuinely attracted, not like from a place of like addiction. Like just you guys are just like really complementary magnets right now, and you're both just like pulling each other towards each other like so hard. This is definitely like very close to reunion energy I'm getting. Okay, so we have pleasure and the path. I think the path forward will definitely be connecting to what makes you both feel good. I think like a lot of this love and compassion definitely makes you feel good. I dare say that this like vying for power probably doesn't. So you'll know the path forward towards each other from like essentially what feels good, for sure. But yeah, follow that path of pleasure. Like I think you guys want to have that. And like a fiery climax approaches. I'd say that for a lot of you, when you guys reunite, it will be like heavily physical, pleasure-based energy. Like I'm getting that you guys will probably just be hooking up like crazy. You've also got meditate and contemplate. So potentially if you identify with the feminine in this reading that's like so ready, like channel all that energy into meditating and like kind of like manifesting how you want this reconnection to kind of go, because there's like heaps of like really positive energy around it at the moment. And if there's anything particularly that you want, like now's a really good time to ask for it and to like create it by manifestation, because you've both got like so much attractive kind of positive energy right now. So like it'll have a really positive impact on your connection for sure. But like regardless of whether you're the masculine or the feminine, just like meditate and just like really focus in on all of this like really good energy between the two of you. Like focus in on this like compassion, this desire for connection, like this attraction, and this feeling of pleasure that you're both kind of like energetically bouncing to and from each other. Like just focus on that so much, and the more you focus on it, the more momentum it'll gain, and the more it'll just pull you together and just keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling. I'm getting that you guys are just like honestly so ready. Like you are so ready. Like I'm getting so much readiness from this reading. Let's see what the love oracles have to say. No, bless. These are all really positive cards. Okay, seduction. So what I was saying before in terms of fiery climax and pleasure, like this is going to be like hot and heavy, like hella hot and heavy for like definitely for at least the first little bit when you guys like are attracted back into each other's lives. You'll just be like flirting, dating, hooking up, and just like having the best time. This is definitely like twin flame energy, and I think this card also came out because it's kind of like signifying that you guys are like pretty much at your peak of like twin flame kind kind of like twin flame, like fullness. Like you both have really stepped into the fullness of the divine feminine and divine masculine, and like you're just like relating to each other in such a positive way that's like really true of the twin flame connection. And there's just so much capacity for like love and compassion and intimacy and like all that stuff. Like you guys like are such a good vibe. Like you guys, like I'm in love with you from a distance because you guys are so in love with each other. And then this boat card is receiving what you want, progression, arriving, and then like closing old issues. So much positive energy in these cards. Like the channeled messages that we have in regards to this connection, like it could be either here, like masculine or feminine. You guys are just like kind of like so there, and it's like just really exciting. Like I'm so excited reading this reading. Can we get an affirmation for pile 2? Can we get an affirmation for pile 2, please? So I cleanse my entire being. I'm free from negative energy. Like I think this is like essentially where you're at. Like you guys have like cleansed so much. Like you're such a good vibe right now for each other. I think it's really important that you guys kind of like stay on that path right now, because it's just going to bring you good things. Like don't get swayed by any delays that kind of come in regards to this reuniting happening. Like it'll happen when it happens, and sometimes like there's certain events that kind of need to occur to like make this the fullest, most beautiful reuniting energy as possible. So just like keep cleansing anything that comes up from your being, and just like keep focusing on like all the good that's to come, because there's so much good to come, and the more you focus on it, the more momentum it'll gain, and the more pleasure that you guys will experience. But what a beautiful reading. I think I'm going to leave that there, pile 2. If you made it all the way through, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you got everything out of this reading that you needed. And I will see you back on this channel again soon. Hey there, pile 3. Welcome to your reading for twin flame channeled messages. So if you chose this crystal, this reading is probably for you. But as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is a general reading, so there will be messages here that are for specific people. There will be interpretations that might fit your situation better as well. So just using your intuition and discernment as to what to take and what to leave. But we're just checking the general themes of your twin flame channeled messages reading using this astrology deck first. So far we have the 4th house, which has a lot to do with like family and our like roots, where we seek comfort, and like really what makes us feel at home. The 9th house has a lot to do with travel and spirituality, especially to do with like education and spiritual development. Yeah, all right. This 9th house is also like heavy Sagittarius energy. We obviously have the number 33, which in numerology is like quite a creative number. And this 4th house also has a lot to do with Cancer energy. So like Sagittarius, Cancer, 4th house home, 9th house like spirituality, especially to do with like spiritual attainment. But let's get into the rest of the reading using this traditional tarot deck. We have channeled messages regarding pile 3's twin flame. We have channeled messages regarding pile 3's twin flame. We have channeled messages regarding pile 3's twin flame. We have channeled messages regarding pile 3's twin flame. We have channeled messages regarding pile 3's twin flame, please. Could we clarify the 5 of Wands and the Star, please? Thank you. Could we clarify the 9 of Wands? And the King of Cups and 8 of Wands, please. Okay, so pile 3, I would hazard a guess that there's like kind of a lot going on in this connection right now that's kind of like, there's kind of like purging like a lot of stuff. I would guess that most of the people in this reading are probably Divine Feminine, getting a reading for the Divine Masculine, because there's a lot here in regards to the Divine Masculine, but there will still be messages for either. So I'm definitely getting Divine Counterpart energy with this King of Cups and Queen of Cups coming out, especially like in clarification of each other. It seems like the King of Cups definitely has more work to do than the Feminine at this stage in terms of like this kind of spiritual knowledge and attainment. I'm getting that maybe they weren't as they weren't into the spiritual practice kind of as much. They were maybe a little bit more practical in life, kind of like this 4th house, kind of like homey, physical kind of energy. But it is like a, it's associated with Cancer, and this cup suit is also an emotional suit. So I'm getting that they were always very, 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 very emotionally intelligent, regardless of the fact that they hadn't done kind of any, like formal spiritual development. They were kind of doing it accidentally just from like living their life as a very emotionally intelligent being. But I'm getting that this person, like, even though they are emotionally intelligent, there is a little bit of an emotional availability issue, which is why this King of Cups came out in reverse. I'm getting that they were like maybe a little bit protected, just because of this 8 of Wands and Magician energy. Like the Magician archetype is a very knowledgeable confidant of the King energy usually. They do tend to be very practical, and I would say like the card does indicate like kind of like power and action, and so does this 8 of Wands. But yeah, I'm getting that like that this person has like started doing lots of spiritual work after this connection probably separated. Like I'm not getting heavy indication that you're still separated. Like this 7 of Swords could mean that you like are in separation, or like or even maybe about to go through a separation. Like you might actually still be on the first phase of this twin flame connection where you're still kind of like in that early bird phase, like before separation, or maybe this separation is new. I think it could be a little bit of a mix of people here, but in any regard, this masculine person is definitely like kind of getting involved in all this like spiritual work right now. And they're kind of like in a phase of like kind of taking more action in life and trying to like open themselves up emotionally a little bit more, using this kind of like very action orientated energy that they have to kind of try and bring that about. But I'm sensing for some of you that you're still in your first like connection phase. And at the moment, what's going on is like lots and lots of conflict. And for those people, the victory of that conflict will be taking time to separate in a way that's like very emotionally mature, if possible, like having a really clear conversation and closing of the first cycle of the relationship so that you can go away and do your work. If you are already separated, I would say that this energy probably more refers to that by separating, the two of you were kind of setting up this connection for success in the long run. Even though like you're kind of like going through it right now, like the end goal is like there'll be an improvement in this connection based on this choice that you've made, even if maybe it didn't go down kind of as well as I just described. But yeah, I'm definitely getting that the separation is either impending or like kind of fairly recent, and the intention is to like clear karma and to create the kind of like full person and like full emotionally available person for each side, so that you guys can have another shot of this connection and potentially like fulfill the destiny of this connection, which is obviously like much fuller than what it's been in the past. So this 7 and 2 of Swords, it might indicate like kind of recent conflict, and kind of like understanding that the conflicts were not about the other person not being right for you, but just like not being in a place where you guys can actually be together right now, because you both have some healing and like karma to clear by the looks of it. And just kind of like coming back to like who you are and just like learning a lot for the two of you, I would say. There's kind of like a lot going on is what I'm getting. Like there's just so much. Like I'd be very surprised if you'd been in separation for a long time, or if you're close to reunion, just because like that it feels very tumultuous. Like there's just a lot going on. But it's all for the greater good of this relationship, and it's also for the greater good of both of your happiness. Like you're actually coming more into alignment now, and that's kind of why it's messy. Like it's messy because the universe is like trying to realign you, and in the process of doing that sometimes it does get super messy. Yeah, so this is separation energy. So I'd say for the majority of you like have just gone through this separation, or you're about to go through this separation. Like it's definitely necessary for this separation to be happening right now. Like it's so important for the greater good and for the alignment and happiness of you both that this separation occurs like now. It's part of kind of the spiritual journey and the spiritual development of twin flames a lot of the time. I'm not saying all twin flames have to have a separation, but like from experience, usually it's for the highest good. Yeah, it's this Justice card is like definitely saying it's for the highest good of the connection for you guys to separate now if you haven't already, and for you guys to continue the separation if you already have, to kind of like come home to yourself and like develop spiritually. Yeah, it's kind of like a big transformative time for the two of you, for sure. That's the bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, this relational dynamic definitely just needs to transform right now. Like I think it wouldn't be serving either of you to stay in connection right now, or to even potentially even stay in contact based on this 3 of Swords energy. It's kind of like short-term pain for long-term gain kind of situation. And if this is really hard and messy right now, pile 3, like I feel you, like it is tough. It is tough out here being a twin flame. It is not an easy journey. It's not something I think people should choose. It's definitely something that if you've been called to do, it's like very like advanced spiritual work. But let's see if there's any oracles for you. Yep. So we have inner child. Like, I think this is definitely a huge time for both of you to do inner child healing, to learn how to ask for help, especially for this King of Cups energy, like being more emotionally available. And a reminder that the two of you can stay connected through like music and like kind of like looking at life very spiritually right now. If you do need kind of that affirmation about going into this separation, if you haven't separated already, the two of you will stay connected when you're in separation, and the connection between you will actually get stronger and it'll become much more energetic, and you'll have to rely a lot less on the physical. So you will get messages from music, and you will just get messages from like going out into nature, especially at night, and looking at the stars. Like, you'll be able to feel them just so much, like you're connected in other realms. So like take that as a little comfort as to like how to proceed in this like separation that potentially will get pretty gnarly. But the text on this inner child card is the fairies of playfulness remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly, fun, but stay safe. I think like part of your inner child healing like will be about reconnecting to like who you were when you were young, when you felt safe, when you were at home with yourself. And a lot of that is to do with like play and fun and silliness, and just like what you actually enjoy in life. That will definitely be coming up in this time of separation. There will also be like a shadow part of this like inner child healing that'll be like super gnarly and just like intense, like dealing with old trauma and emotions and all that sort of stuff. But always making sure that you're balancing that out with the kind of fun part of inner child healing, and not letting it get too monotonous in the like darkness, because the light helps you heal just as much as the dark. I think for your person, the text for the Ask for Help card says, angels are celestial beings who protect everyone, and the fairies say now is the time for you to ask for angelic assistance. Like, I think especially if you haven't separated yet, or you guys are afraid to separate, like both of you need to ask for divine protection and guidance like through this separation. And your person, I think in the physical, needs to get a lot better at like communicating and letting you know what's going on for them, and like asking for help through situations. And kind of like I already touched on this, like music and stargazing, like this is how you will stay connected. So yeah, be brave in this connection, this separation. Like, there's so much good to come, but yeah, sometimes it has to get like kind of harder before it gets easier. It's like the dark before the dawn. But let's get some more oracles. What other oracles do you have for pile 3 in their twin flame connection, please? So we have action. I definitely, like, there was a lot of action cards in here. I think this is definitely a time for you guys to, like, if you haven't taken action on this separation, do it. And once you are separated, take a lot of action on this healing. Like, just do so much healing. Like, obviously, if the separation is, like, quite new, like, take space to just, like, chill for a minute and just, like, let yourself be, like, super sad. But know that in this separation, it's intended for you both to like act on your healing. Yeah, and lots of self-reflection in this time. Like, this is going to be such a time for like connecting to who you really are, what you really want, what's like in your highest good, and like what you want out of a relationship, how you can show up better, what you need to heal, just like so much self-reflection in this time. Let's see if we've got any more oracles. We got be bold and make the first move. I think this is definitely for people who haven't initiated the separation yet. Don't wait for your person to initiate it. Like, if you know that you need it, make that move, because it's definitely for the highest good of both of you. So we've got expect powerful change, luck is on your side, and your hard work is paying off. I think in regards to this like divine protection, this luck is on your side card definitely indicates that like this separation will be protected. Like you will have so much good fortune on your side while you're initiating this separation. All of your hard work is like not pointless, it's for something. Expect a powerful change from all this work. It's there to like grow you, develop you spiritually, like take you to the next level, and become like have like a bigger capacity to actually love all people, not just your twin and not just yourself. Like this is going to be a huge change for you. Yeah, you've just got twin flame confirmation here. So you've got twin flame confirmation on this card, and I think this is a lot to do with like having faith in the separation, and that you'll be protected throughout the separation, that you will get a chance to come back together as much more powerful human beings. But it is a time to update all of your outdated thinking, conditioning, and like maybe like some kind of just like doubts and anxiousness and like all that sort of stuff. And like, I think this snake energy is more to do with like the demons within, like what's going on within you that's like kind of essentially bringing you down and stopping you from living in your fullness and your potential. You guys obviously have a lot of passion and chemistry for each other, so don't let any of this kind of like these negative beliefs like kind of derail you. Because you are definitely going to rise from the ashes of this connection, like in a new phase, and full of like growth and transformation, and like totally just like changing your mind on like so much stuff. And the Chaser card also came up. I think a fair few of you here will be divine feminine and like very much tended towards this Chaser energy. Could be divine masculine too, but just based on who I think is in this reading, like it could be a mix, but I'd say probably more divine feminine. When this kind of like snake energy comes up within you, like there will be a temptation to chase. Know that that's there, and like there's space for you to explore that a little bit and lean into it a little bit, but just like do it super, super, super consciously. So when you are chasing, like name that to yourself and be like, oh, I'm chasing right now. I'm feeling like this and this fear is coming up for me, and just like be like super, super, super aware. Like you don't need to shut it down like completely, because you need to learn from it. And that's kind of the point. Like that's kind of the point of like this snake energy coming up, is like really seeing it with fresh eyes and like learning from it. And that's what's like really important going forward. Obviously that's not to say like give in to every one of your kind of like old tendencies, but bring a lot of awareness to it. Like that's really important in this time. Let's see if there's any affirmations to help you get through this time. Pile 3. Any affirmations for pile 3? Affirmations for pile 3, please. We have affirmations for pile 3. We get affirmations for pile 3. Okay, so we have divine energy flows through me, I'm a radiant being, and we also have I am fearless in the pursuit of what I desire. I think both of these are super important in terms of like moving forward. Like if you are afraid, like lean into that fear, and you know, like clearing a lot of that will help you in the pursuit of what you truly desire. Also, like if at any time you feel like super stuck or whatever, know that divine energy is flowing through you, that you are radiant, and that you are attracting the future that you desire and deserve through all of this hard work that you're doing at the moment. But I think I'm going to leave that there, pile 3. There's definitely a lot in this reading and there's a lot to come for you. But like, I definitely have faith in the two of you. Like, you both seem ready to like pursue with this work and like do the hard yards to kind of like reach that next level of spiritual like awakening. And that's huge. So yeah, I'm really proud of you. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys come out the other side like fuller and happier within yourselves and like ready to share something so much deeper with your person. But I think I'm going to leave that reading there, pile 3. If you made it all the way through, thank you so much. I hope you got out of this reading everything that you needed to in terms of channeled messages, as well as feeling like comfort or relief or whatever it was you were looking for. But I hope to see you again on this channel very soon. So please like, comment and subscribe, especially if this reading resonated, so that I will see you again very, very soon. That's all of the channeled messages that I have for you today. If you made it all the way through the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you want to see more intuitive tarot readings on your page, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will be there.